right? So big news out of the States yesterday. And before I get into things, I'm going to put out 3 videos today, so make sure you check out the later two. A lot of big stuff going on. There's so much stuff that I could probably even put out more videos, but I don't want to spend all day making videos. So I'm going to put out 3 today. But anyway, the first thing being is that, or sorry, the first thing I wanted to talk about is Trump signed an executive order yesterday narrowing protections for social media platforms. And this is something that's long overdue, like long overdue. It's something I've been mentioning for a long time. Um, I still think that there's more work that needs to be done when it comes to this, but it is a very good first step in that we've known for a while, basically since 2016, maybe even before that, but we've had we've had strong enough evidence that it's enough to justify since about around 2016 that most, in fact, I would say pretty much all major social media platforms are range on the spectrum of bias up to very bias. And the bias largely favors the left, and it largely hurts the conservatives or the right, basically. And the first thing I wanted to point out is just so we can clear up any confusion to anybody who's questioning it, questioning the narrative. There's no evidence not to back it up again. Um, you can't make the whole bias claim. We have infinite amounts of examples. I mean, we literally have James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, on video catching executives of Twitter, Google, Facebook. I know Twitter and Google for sure, which again, Google and YouTube are linked. So, literally admitting on camera that they're biased. Again, when people are literally admitting that they're biased on camera, there's no debate. Again, I guarantee you there'll be people trying to point out, oh, they're not biased. What are you talking about? No, but no, they literally admit it on camera. Like, come on, people. Like, why in the world are we even having this conversation still? So again, the whole "it's made up, it's not true" argument is been thoroughly debunked. Like, couldn't be any more thoroughly debunked. The debate is just how biased are they? Um, and I would say it's fairly biased, and for the simple reason that there's endless amounts of examples. Twitter censored a Trump tweet yesterday, and yet they turn around and let Antifa have accounts. They didn't censor Kathy Griffin when she's calling for violence again. They're it's literally elephant in the room level of obvious that they're biased. So finishing that little point up that I wanted to bring up for starters, the main point being is that this is something that's long overdue, and all people are asking for, or sorry, all people are saying, oh, you want to force them to be no, no one wants to force them to do anything. All people are saying is that if you want to censor people for their political views, then you don't get the protection of being a platform, because there's two different things going on here for people that don't understand. There's basically how a newspaper or a news outlet would be run, and there's how well, I mean, prior to this, but I mean, how YouTube should have been run. In that, if a news outlet posts "kill this person," they can be sued. But if someone posts a YouTube video saying "kill person X," they can't be sued because they're a platform. They're not biased in any way, shape, or form. The minute you start banning people because of their political views, you now go into the territory of being the same as a newspaper, because you're saying that we control the opinions that come out of this company. Like, because newspapers don't allow anybody, at least in, maybe if it's like a letter to the editor or something like that, but they don't allow just anybody to post whatever they want. Like, CNN doesn't allow anybody to go on CNN, and maybe unless it's an interview, but again, that's third party. They don't allow people who work at CNN to be like, yeah, we should kill person X. They don't allow that, because if they did, they would be sued. And that's the problem with the social media platforms, is that they want the benefits of claiming that they are a neutral third party platform. And the reason they want those benefits is that they can't be sued for being biased, or someone posting live streaming them killing someone or something like that. Um, and they also want the benefits of saying, "Oh, we're a private company. We can ban whoever we want." So they want it both ways. And the problem is that you have to pick one or the other. Either you have to be a platform that doesn't censor unless it's someone committing a crime, or you have to be a publisher, which means you can censor all you want, but you're subject to liability, and that if someone post something, saying we should kill someone, or someone live streams a murder, then you can be liable for that. So they have to pick between the both. And the reason that they want to keep it in the middle is that they have the benefits of censoring people, and they also have the benefits of not being able to be sued or being liable for anything that's on their platform. And like I said, that's the problem, is all people are saying is that you have to pick one. You have to pick one. If you want to censor, go ahead, but then you're subject to liability. So that's the problem when it comes to this kind of stuff, and that's basically the difference. And a lot of people don't understand that, is that they don't understand the difference, and that they make them a private company argument, but yet they don't say, "Yep, that makes you subject to liability then." And like I say, that's the problem, and that and again, they completely contradict themselves with the whole wedding cake issue, that um, bakeries are private companies, therefore they should be able to decide who they do business with. The problem with that is that the left also thinks that they should be forced to do that, and that's not even what the right is saying. So again, they're completely hypocritical when it comes to that comparison. But the main point being here is that they are exceptionally biased, and anybody who's not on the left, this should be a massive issue for anybody who's not on the left. A massive issue. And why should it be a massive issue? Uh, because part of the reason why the left is doing so well politically these days is that social media is completely biased in their favor. So if you want an even playing field, then you need to be worried about this kind of stuff. You need to be talking about this kind of stuff. And no one is saying that they should be biased in any way, shape, or form. All we want, all people like me want, is a level playing field. And if you're going to censor, okay, go ahead and censor. But you don't get to be immune from liability then. And the other problem with that too is that technically what they're doing is still incredibly immoral and unethical, if you ask me, for the simple reason that they were able to grow to be as big as they are because they got to have it both ways. The problem now is that any potential competitor, and there really is no I mean, there's definitely some that are growing, but there's no major competitor to Twitter or to YouTube. Even though, like I say, there is BitChute, there is Parlay, there is Gab, there is ones that are growing, but again, still not comparable to the big ones. And that's the problem, is that these competitors are going to have to grow um, with an unfair disadvantage, and that's another thing that's very unfair. So anyway, I wanted to make a video about this because it's very important. I think if this whole virus situation wasn't going on, this would be one of the biggest stories of the year. But because the virus situation is going on, it's kind of an afterthought. So I wanted to make a video about it, just at the very least, just to point it out, because it's very important. So anyway, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Be sure to check out my videos later today. Be sure to check out my PayPal and email. And last couple things, as always, check me out on BitChute and as well as Twitter. All the links are in the description, so you can find them all there.